NSC Fan TV. I'm here with Aaron after the 3-3 tie and then win in pens against Club America. Aaron was sitting with me for the first half, but then had to be elsewhere for the second half. Had to be elsewhere. But I guess the first point is we had some disagreements, you and I, about some of our positional play. I'd like to hear your thoughts on what you think was going right for our positional play in the first half.
Yeah, and before I do that, I just want to say there's kind of a weird feel to this game as a whole. I know it's like a friendly, and at the end of the game, I didn't even know it was going to go to penalties. Some people said this game was like a part of a tournament, but this was just a showcase. So ultimately, it had a weird feel, and I know we gave up a really late goal, but I was just like, it is what it is, and it's a Club America team that's it's not a no slouch. But I came into this game, I bought different seats than normally in the supporter section because I just wanted to look in and just see how the sort of sub players were playing and would play. And so the main thing, I was hoping Ake would start, and he did start. I wanted to see him in his role and how he played, and especially from up in the 200s, it was much easier to see. And basically what I saw was Ake may not be the right fit for Nashville right now, in that he's a really great player, but in the two sort of roles that he could play, he's not the best player. So CJ for Gary wins a lot of balls, is very physical, and kind of makes some runs up top that Ake just doesn't, and so he's just slightly better than Ake in that regards. And then Ake just likes to stay kind of on the center backs and doesn't really drop in, whereas Hani is kind of that guy. Hani can kind of do both, but he will drop into the space in between the sort of center backs and the midfield of the other opposing team, and kind of links up our Nunga and Davis and the central midfielders with the strikers. And so Ake doesn't really drop in that much, and so he's not the best player in that position either. So that essentially leaves him on the bench, which has been kind of frustrating, because there are flashes, and we saw flashes tonight of he's really good with the ball at his feet, and if he has time to get touches under him and play around people, he just he's got some magic feet under him, and it's just kind of it's hard to play with him in a sense, because he's maybe a little bit more of a luxury player, but that he was the one I focused on mostly. But I saw a Gary Smith team in the first half that was solid, with a bunch of guys that are not bad as far as backups were concerned. I think the amount of chances we had, like Teal's going to have nightmares and struggle to fall asleep from his misses, especially the first two in the first 5 minutes. Definitely should have put that away. I asked you guys, does CJ put that away? And who knows? But ultimately, he's he's a journeyman in MLS, which is what a lot of these guys are. But we were kind of playing through some of these Club America guys, and our B team was at the very least on par with their B team. And yeah, I didn't really have much in terms of qualms with that. I mean, when we did do a lot of subs, which was kind of weird, just like we did 5 at halftime, and I don't even know how many they were allowing. I think maybe 7 or something like that. So yeah, it was just a weird game, a weird friendly that may or may not have anything serious to impact. I know people were happy about us winning a penalty shootout, but I'm like, were they feeling the pressure as much? Because it didn't matter, I don't know. And yeah, it's good. I guess we won, and with, again, a bunch of all of our backup guys. If we had the full Dax Godoy, Zimmerman, Shaq Moore, and everybody else on the first string, if they were in there, I think that first half definitely looks worse. But that's, again, probably because Club America are also down on their B team. So
Yeah, they're not gonna sacrifice top of the table in Liga MX right now to win this away game. So a question about some of the subs that came on. What did you think about Leal's play tonight?
I thought he played great. I'm like baffled that Costa Rica are not going to take him to the World Cup, because he was dancing around those players. He played a bunch of positions tonight. Like when he got subbed in, or Handwall I think might have gotten subbed out, he slotted into central midfield, like where we saw Davis. But his ability to just turn out of spaces and move around and keep possession of the ball, especially working with Anunga in a position that he's never played for us before, was just shows how valuable he is as just a player. And then of course when he gets into attacking positions, he is quite dangerous and a threat. And I think it would have been nice to have him get a goal, but he got close. He got too close to the goal, in my opinion. He wasn't too far enough out to take shots that he likes to take. So he's a class player, and I know the man behind the camera is like, oh yeah, Luke Hawkinson. I'm like, yeah, but Randall Leal exists, and so Luke is going to be our sub, and Randall is the guy in front. So you can see why we have the players. They're solid players, but you can also see why Hani starts, why Shaffelberg starts, and we can see why Shaffelberg is going to get signed, because he just changes our attack and makes it that much better by just being a danger. And he was just, my gosh, he's got rockets in his boots. So
right, he showed some speed, showed some controls, showed some quality, showed some vision. Let's talk about a player that everyone who wears this badge has an opinion on. That badge. Eric Miller put in a shift tonight.
Sure. Yeah. My eternal thoughts on Eric Miller is that he's a center back. He's not a right back. And there were a couple times. I think there was one time in the first half where he pushed too far up, and he doesn't have the mobility to get back. And then Luke Hawkinson was forced to trace back, and afterwards I saw he literally put his hand up and was like, that's on me. And it's like, yeah, Eric, that is on you, but it's also, I think, just he's filling in as a right back. There's a reason why Shaq Moore is playing, and that's because he's just a better right back and player overall. Eric, I think, is just he's a solid enough center back. You could probably be okay, but it's just, he's kind of, when he's playing out of his position, I just don't think he's not as mobile to be a right back in modern football. So
the mobility issues with Miller continued. The passing issues going forward, not a lot of the positive play from him. You didn't think that there was like a sort of a great revelation with NSC with the Pens. A lot of folks felt like this was a kind of we've exercised some demons. You're not there with that?
I mean, a little bit. I think it's good that we've had people score. I thought it was great that Panikos, he saved one straight out. He made a right call in terms of the second penalty. It was just a really well taken and hard hit penalty, but he guessed right. And then, I think Club America only got one more, and he's definitely solid in penalty shootouts. And I think having our guys like Jack Mir, I know he was great on penalties. I don't know why he should be definitely in one of the five. I thought Hawkinson scared me a little bit, but he put it top bins, I think, or somebody. It was him. I think it was Hawkinson that put it out top left corner, and that was, I was a little bit freaked out by that. But yeah, it's hard to say how much of an impact the penalties have, because it doesn't matter.
And in some ways, those aren't the folks who are going to be taking the Pens in the playoffs anyhow.
Yeah, maybe. But
maybe they will now.
Maybe, because if we do get down to it, I mean, they're going to be the subs that are on the field. So Jack might be filling in. You might have an Anunga filling in. So they might be the guys taking penalties. You know, if Hani Mukhtar is going to be in there. I thought Leal had a decent enough penalty in that he put it on frame. It was just a good save by the goalkeeper. So, yeah, it's weird because I think when we were in the Open Cup, I felt we exercised a little bit more of our demons there because we actually scored a penalty after like 5 or 6 misses in a row or something like that. So I feel a little bit better about our penalties. I don't think it's as much of a boogeyman, anymore. Yeah, we won one, but I just think maybe it's a little bit more relaxed, and who knows? Maybe I'll probably feel a little bit more stressed when we're actually when it really kind of fully matters.
I'll just say that I hope I don't have to see it in the playoffs. But hey, there we are. The reality is that we're likely going to.
I think that is a strong possibility that we'll do that at least once, just because it's how Gary
have it in me.
It's how Gary plays. We hope that Hani can drive us to be up 2 or 3 goals, and then we don't have to really worry about it. But if we get down to the nitty gritty and play like LAFC or even Austin, or if we made it to the MLS Cup, Philadelphia is going to be one of those games where we're going to have to rely on our defense to hold, and it may be like a 1-1 game that we have to play, shoot penalties against them.
We remember the penalties against Philadelphia.
Yes.
Okay, so Aaron, thank you so much. NSC Fan TV with Aaron after the tie, and then win in Pens. Did we exercise a demon? Maybe we exercised like a little minor demon, like one with like little tiny horns.
It was a nice little break. Nice little break. And I'm looking forward to October 2nd, last home game in the regular season, and hoping that we get 3 points to secure. Maybe 2 home games would be nice, but we need some help from some other teams.
2 would be great, but you know what? I need to see 1 here. And you know what? Bring it, Houston.